What's up, y'all? Y'all all right? Good. If not, let's get better. Getting up and getting my day started today. Just doing my morning reflection. And like I said, I had to take some time out for self. I'm available for everybody, but I'm always, putting off the things I need to do. And one of the things I needed to do was understand appreciation again. Not just I give it all the time. And appreciation is very, very, very important, especially when you're striving for excellence. When you're striving and you got all these plans or these goals, you got people looking for they're expecting. The expectations are high for you, or whatever the case may be. And you don't want to get burnt out. You know what I'm saying? You don't want to overextend yourself. But sometimes you have to also go back to that root and think about, hold on, who have I helped? Or who can verify the help? Who can kind of, not validate you, but, hold on, I remember when. I thank you for it. Those things, in this week I've been feeling that. That's like, wow, and so glad I got over the tears. Because I would have been crying, but it's a good feeling. But it's also confirmation that you're doing the right thing. Nobody's perfect. You know what I'm saying? Nobody's perfect. I'm not damn sure not perfect. But I work hard to be a man. At the end of the day, no matter what, you can call me this, that, and the other, but man, call me Jazz, man. Put the respect on the man first. But it's a giant. I want to be a regular person sometimes. I just say, Lord, why can't I be a regular person? He decided to make you regular. And it made me even feel good when my pastor can say, I watch your videos and I take pieces from your videos to pass it on to the congregation. And that's a for an elder to say your words inspired me so much that I want to give it to the church. And then I'll be playing like, no, he ain't got the same. But actually now I see how our minds are parallel. We're trying to get we're trying to reach the same goal. We just got a different delivery. And to sit in Bible study, on Tuesday and him acknowledge that, ooh. Then for brothers who you done walk with, when you say teach, observe, and monitor, or mentor, to have a house where you took young men and you raised them up, and now you're starting to see what you taught them coming to act, application. To say, hold on, wait a minute, I got to take my shoes off. Wait, hey, I made you take those shoes off in my house. You know what I'm saying? And those things, right, those are spiritual blessings that can't nobody take. And then your words, my words, you know what I'm saying? Can't nobody, when you express yourself, if they run from you, guess what? It's their fear. Those are the spiritual blessings I'm thankful for. Hey, sis, good morning. How you doing? You all right? Good. If not, let's get better. Those are, certain things that just make you, have to stop and make sure you're humble enough. You know what I'm saying? Because some things, people, people expect you to lose control when certain things happen in your life. Or, when to go off, or, you know what I'm saying? Or, take the road of, the easy road and say, I'm gonna take this motherfucker. And when you can sit back and say, you know what? Okay. Because the more attention I give that, because eventually, the truth, like I said, truth, peace. When you telling the truth, you ain't got to tell no story. But when you hear the story, let me take out the truth, because people gonna give you what they want you to have. And that's I have no malice in my heart. You know, why you ain't so not? Ain't no malice in my heart. I ain't earned that. You know, I ain't no need for no lawsuits or suing nobody. Ain't no need to go in and jumping on nobody. What is that gonna solve? Because by the time by the time the case is over, that's why I spent 33.5% on a lawyer plus. You know, they wasted time and it took a 30-minute case and took 4 years. What's the, then hold on, I'm beating you up. That I'm in the jailhouse and I ain't got time for that. So guess what? Again, you just take it in stride and say, you know what? I have no malice. Thank you for the information. Thank you. You know what I'm saying? But also going deeper. Going deeper. Because if you talk about levels, I can do it all, but I can't do it all by myself. So sometimes you have to go into people who can tell the story and give it to them real. To be who can go and say, I've been through this situation. This is where I was. Here I am now. That's why, when I go down here and present these to these young men, I want some brothers that can stand up and say, hold on, I ain't perfect. But hold on, let me show you the mistakes I made so you don't make the same ones. You know what I'm saying? Out of all that, let's get past that. Let's go deep. Okay, we over that. But I need your talent and skill is needed now. I got this, certain company. Your talent and skill is needed now. It's time for us. My thing is, we're breaking the curses. We're breaking the yokes. We're breaking those generational curses that we done had on us for many years. And somebody, we can tell them, we want this, we wanted to change some things, but let me show you how to change some things. Jesus said, let me show you how to fish and you'll eat for a lifetime. But if I give you one, guess what? You're going to eat for that small time. So as you see, I'm putting pictures up of every aspect have a broken down. This is what this part is for. This is the breakdown here. This is the breakdown. So when I'm able to move, everything has a proper process order, so we can see progress and also see prosperity. Also see prosperity. I'm so glad I wrote letters, because everything I wrote in those letters is coming into fruition. Everything I wrote in my Bible coming into fruition. And my sister Michelle, you know what I always say, the 3 Michelles, baby. I can't hate no better than that. You know what I'm saying? I'm getting ready to celebrate my birthday and everything, but I'm looking at the progress I made from October 2020 to now. From the Joseph season all the way to my Job season. Now I understand the levels. So, am I going to be a leader? Am I going to be a general? Or am I going to be just an NIGGA? Or, just forget about, just go off and... Because the generals, you know what? I got the excuse just for the greater good. Because all that don't matter, because the greater good is... I made a vow. So now, we ain't been had no conversation. If I can't, let me find out those things we was planting seeds 4 or 5 years ago. Thank you, Quentin Stevens, for staying steadfast, man. It's the quarterback. Thank you, Henry Chapman, standing. And thank you to those who put a smile on my face and was able to say, thank you. To everybody, I remember when. Oh, I think nobody even noticed that part. So I said again, yesterday I wanted to, I was a little upset because time, I have a thing on time management, and I try to volunteer my time, accordingly. But, okay, we're gonna set a time. Let's make sure that time. If it's not, I got to move on to the next thing. I can't just keep making myself available. But we're gonna, it's a lot of things we're trying to do. A lot of things that I'm trying to do as well. So I'm gonna make sure that in that time, when we set time, come on, we gotta be on time. Cause today I got to work. I'm on a tight schedule. I got to work. So the time that I'm off, let me put as much time as I can doing what the things I committed to, so that when I'm away, I've already, met some goals. You know what I'm saying? There ain't no knock on nobody. It's just now I got to start again. Accountability for self. Accountability for self. Rest, making sure I got my rest, and making sure that I, eat properly, making sure that I take exercise. Now getting back into the routine that I know my schedule. I was working on a flip schedule where now I got a steady schedule and I know the schedule, so now I can plan accordingly. Levels. So I'm trying to build this. It's this one thing that I got to take care of, man. It's been bothering me for quite some time. It's a matter of the heart. It's a matter of the heart, because I've made a promise that I would not just walk away. That's the easy part to do. And I only ask for one thing, just eye to eye, just look me eye to eye. I can take that better than a silent, non-verbal. Because when you needed things, you made sure you made it verbal. But all I ask is that one thing. I just make sure I close this door, or even however, because I can't let that hinder what I got going on and what's about to happen. I cannot let that hinder whatever the progress that I've made. Love is it's a but it's when you love them, with unconditional love. With that unconditional love, sometimes that unconditional love hurt and say, you know what, I got to let you go in order to be whole. But let me give you a chance. Give me a chance, opportunity. But for real, I just wanted to get that out the way, because it's some great things about to happen, and I need to make sure that the people that's around me understand that this can change situations. We can change situations. And people got to get out of that mindset. They up here. They acting like they're up here, but how can? And I'm not dogging nobody, but this is the realest stuff I had to tell somebody today. How can you tell me that you got it all together, but I'm paying your rent through my taxes, and you sitting here? No, let's not do that. Let's not try to act like you're so grandiose. Humble yourself and remember. You know what I'm saying? I don't have no subsidies. I got to pay. I got to go out here and work and hustle every day to get mine. But you don't put yourself on that pedestal, and then when somebody call you out on it, now you upset. No, don't get upset, because somebody had to call me out on it. So if you want to be a leader, you got to be able to be taught, observed, and mentored. Even then, I'm a leader. I still got to learn from my elders. I had to get checked the other day. Not in the back, but hold on. This is we partners in this. Hold on, you can't make us look. Hold on. Wait a minute. And the same thing with some people put themselves here, and not being able to say, you know what, I see, you know. Okay, let me be a little humble. You know, it ain't about, you know, submitting to nobody. It's about not meeting you on your level and saying, you know, guess what? I've been there. I did that. I'm trying to show you where we're trying to get to. If you ain't trying to get there, let me leave you back to where you're at, because I'm talking about changing. You know, you sitting out here struggling, you know. I ain't too far from struggling too, but I ain't gonna struggle too hard. But I had to make some investments. I ain't broke, but I surely ain't. You know, everybody your granddaughter, but can you get people walk around with cell phone? I don't get this. So grandiose, but you ain't got no service. You gotta wait till you get the Wi-Fi. But you so grandiose. If in case of an emergency, who can I contact? Not judging you, not putting you down, but hey, you're gonna judge me? Oh, you think? Yeah, I usually have drinks with y'all too, but hey, I'm still the same person. But I guess what? I ain't no drunk. If I want to drink, I can drink me in Arizona. I can admit my wrongs. That's the hard part. I can admit my wrongs and go back to somebody and say, you know what? Even though we had one rough patch, I can go back and say thank you for what you taught me, because now those things that you taught me, I can teach somebody else. I can go make things better for my family. I can look, you know, I can say, you know what, all my life experiences, I can now feed into somebody else, because guess what? Sometimes we take stuff for granted. The little things. We take things for granted. We get mad at people because, you know, they ain't doing what we want them to do, but what happens when that person, you know, you think about what that person done for you, and that person's not here to, you're going to be like the imitation of light, running behind the cash. That's my mama when you done denied her all these years. When you things done passed you by, the key to somebody trying to give you, because you're about to move into, you're about to transition, and you don't want to hear the information because you got it all. But sometimes you gotta listen to the conversation and go, wait a minute, hold on, you a leader? That's how you talking? I'm walking away now. You know what? Apparently, you know what? What I'm gonna do is, I know where your mindset is now, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna step back from that, because if you're thinking like that, ooh, you got a long way to go. But anyway, that's my spiel. All I'm saying to you is, I'm like I said again, self. Making sure that, because I mean, volunteerism and also New Legacy, also trying to work. Everything has to have balance. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm looking at my church and everything, balance. You know, it ain't. I'm understanding now that Bible studies are just a right for me, because I can speak with the men. But the church, it's a little different for me, because it's simple fact that my belief is a little different. I can't keep having something forced on me that I don't believe in wholeheartedly. I mean, I understand the concept. I believe in the concept. But I just, you know, the order is a little different. You know, we get misplaced in the order, you know, because we put somebody in our place instead of giving him his just due. You know, everybody talking about, you know, God and this. But read that first commandment and read it wholeheartedly. Wholeheartedly. Because he said, none in the heavens above and none in the seas below. He said, hold on, I'm giving you this example, so where I fit in. If he's the Father, I'm his son, then where's my big brother to give me an example? Father is the knowledge. You are the body that puts to action that knowledge into action. And the Spirit guides you. Where Spirit is your temple. Y'all have a good day. Love, peace, soul, new day, new life, new legacy.